I'm Katrina, and this is Sow and Tare, and today we are going to be collecting some seeds, also my hair. We're going to be collecting some seeds from the yard. Now, could you have done this a long time ago? Could I have done it a long time ago? Yes. I've been quite busy, and I know that these are good. Really, if they could stay on here through winter and drop to the bottom and sprout again. So I'm not too concerned that they're going to go bad when they're up here. Now, if they were on the ground and it started raining a lot, they could in fact rot, and I've had that happen in the past. But this is the green bean that I had this year, and it's actually a really good green bean, and it's stringless. I'll put the name up on the screen because I don't really remember the name of it. I think it's Emeritus or something. Anyway, so it has these beans. So inside this crumpled up, dead looking thing, there are beans. And I can just put this on my pathway because it is wood chip pathway, and it'll go away. So out of that, those are seeds for green beans. So yeah, green beans can have black seeds. Isn't that cool? So I'm going to be saving these. I'm not going to be shucking all of them, I don't know, shelling, shucking, whatever. I'm not going to be taking the seeds out right now. Right now, I'm going to be putting things into this bucket. And it's a big bucket, but it's either a big bucket or a tiny bucket. So there you go. So I'm going to be putting it into here. So for right now, I'm going to put it into here. And that's free seed, right? I mean, I planted seed that I bought and I got new seed. And so what I'm going to be doing is I can feel these. If they feel hard, I'm just going to pull them off, put them in. There you go. So there's tons of different kinds of seeds that you can save. And green beans is just one of them that's super easy. Any kind of bean is super easy. You just let it dry like this and pick it, and there you go. So these are very dry by now, and you could in fact store them like this, until it's time to plant. I'm not going to. I'm going to actually take them out, but that is, I think, a more personal choice, and then also just to make sure they don't rot if they get wet. Right now they're pretty dry. All right, I'm gonna put my bucket down and we'll go through this. Now, once these have been picked, I can take the vines off or leave them on, doesn't really matter, but it looks nicer with them off. I don't always do that, but sometimes I do that when I plant things on it next. But yeah, there's a lot here that you can do. And so I have several things that I'm going to be saving in the yard. Now, you guys already saw that I have beets and beet greens sprouting up. There's one that I saw that's already sprouting from this last year's seed. It's way over by the lemon tree. But there's some things that are going to be sprouting naturally. I think I already saw some celery. There's some borage in the front coming up. So saving seed doesn't mean you have to pick it and put it somewhere. You could be saving it by just letting it go to seed. But with these, why I have so many on here, I wouldn't normally keep this many, but why I have so many is because I was gone for like 3 weeks in September, and that was a really good time for green beans. And so they didn't get harvested, and they made me seed, which is fine. I will take it. So I also have some cucumber over here we'll get to in a bit, that I did save for seed on purpose. Oh my gosh, guys. I have a green bean. How do I have a green bean? This plant has been dry for months, and I have a green bean. It tastes like a green bean. That's awesome. Mother Nature, right? How funny. Gotta keep my eye out here for more. Now, if I don't pick all of these beans, that's completely fine with me. Some of them will pop up later. Some of them might not. Oh my gosh, guys, look. Look at this. Are we confused or are we confused? That is a flower. It's a flower bud of my green bean. These guys have been done for a long time. Maybe I won't take it out. There's another one up here. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm not going to take it out. I'm just going to take off the pods. And it probably won't live through winter, but I like to give them a fighting chance. That's pretty cool. I did not see that before. So when you're saving seeds, part of the important thing to note is that the seeds are actually mature. So a lot of people try and save seeds at an immature stage. This may be the wrong season to talk about it, but too bad, I'm going to talk about it. Like end of season is, well, end of season, there we go, we're in the right time. End of season is the time to save seeds because at that point your plants have gone, they're done producing. They've said, okay, we need to produce offspring, send out all that we can. And that's what happens. That's why you're supposed to pick green beans on a regular basis, because if you don't, then the plant says, okay, I'm done reproducing, I'll die now. That's basically how it goes. So the more often you pick, the more often it'll send out more flowers, and the more often you'll get more fruit. So that's the reasoning. And this one is very productive this year, and I wasn't here during the most productive time, so that was unfortunate. But yeah. Look how big some of these are. Look at that. So things like tomatoes you can generally save when they're red. Peppers you can generally save. Some of them might have better viability if you wait until they're ripe. So some people pick peppers green, and like jalapenos, people think of them as green pepper. Well, if you let it go red, I think it's tastier. And you also will have a little more mature seeds. So you can still grow one out of a pepper that was green, but I haven't done any experiments, but I would assume that it would be a little more viable if it was not green. But that is my opinion, not fact, as far as I know. But those are fine to do right there and then. Things like eggplant need to be mature. So the seeds that you're saving is not going to come from the same one that you're eating. They need to be like a hard plant, a hard fruit at that point. So that's something to think about when you're saving seeds, is what type of fruit is it, or what. These are fruits. Even though people call them vegetables, they're fruits. Vegetable is like a lettuce leaf. Or a celery stalk. It's a vegetative part of the plant. A fruit has seeds, or can have seeds. And so you have to know which type of thing you are harvesting, and yeah, you'll know when it's time to have the fruits. Now, like this. This is a cucumber I missed, and again, the cucumbers have spikes, and I'm going to do it not over my bucket. Looks like it got eaten by something on the outside. That's completely fine for the seeds inside. The ones that have spikes, you just rub off in the correct direction. This is a little bit harder now. This is not the one I was saving. That's kind of cool, all the bugs did. I'll show you the one I was saving. So here's the one I was saving right here. And I had my eye on it because it was a little big when I went to pick the other ones. And it's also, it was a nice big size. It was a little bigger than I wanted when I went to pick, but actually it's kind of soft now. I'll probably eat it, but. For cucumbers and stuff like that, you really want them to be at the end of their cycle. So same thing with zucchinis. and melons. Melons are usually good when they're ripe, but cucumbers and zucchinis, you want them to be past the point that you would want to eat them. Cucumbers usually get hard. It looks like this has gotten soft. I don't know if that's because it has frosted again or not, but the seeds in here will still be good. And with that, you can split this open, take out the seeds, put them on, I don't even drink coffee, but I have coffee filters because seeds come up off of that very easily. A friend of mine told me that once and I tried it. I'm like, ooh, this works. So I'll show you at the end of the video how to do that. And they just dry. You rinse them and you air dry them. And then when they're dry, you can package them up. I like to use, you can use the coffee filter as a part of the packaging. So I'll show you how to do that at the end and go from there. So the amount of seeds I got over there is enough. I mean, there's a bunch left there. There's a bunch along the porch. I'm just gonna leave them, and whatever plants itself plants itself. Really good way to harbor your own volunteers. And so this is what I'm keeping from those ones, and then I have 2 cucumbers. There's another cucumber over there, but I think it's smaller, and I'm gonna try eating it. So yeah, here is that. And then you look around the garden. You guys saw the weekend review. If not, I'll put it up here in the card. And I have a bunch of tomatoes I need to harvest. So I'm going to do that now. I know a lot of them have split and have been frost damaged because, I mean, the tops of the tomatoes have been frosted. And it's rained a little, so I know we have split tomatoes. So the chickens are busy. I'll give them to the quail. The quail will have an extra treat tonight with that. And so I guess I'll show you the end result of that. You guys have seen me pick tomatoes before. I'll give you a look at the tomatoes first, and then I'll show you the end result after I have them picked. I am going to pick things like these little tomatoes up here. Look how far this went. You guys see that? How far that tomato went? So there's a couple tomatoes up there. There's a whole slew of green tomatoes in here, and I am going to pick the green tomatoes. You can either let them ripen. This one has a little bit of color. You can either let them ripen, or you can actually use them green. I've used them green to make salsas, and that turned out really well. I've heard of a tomato green curry that I'd like to try because I love green curry. I don't think green curry is because of the green tomatoes though, in a normal one. Anyway, so I am going to pick these. I'll get back to you. And again, you can see just how these things are dyed back. It's pretty dyed back. And then over here, you can see they're really dyed back, especially down here. So we do have some tomatillos that I need to collect as well. So I'll be having I think I'm going to do it in 3 different containers. One for good tomatoes, one for good green tomatoes, and 4. 4. Green tomatoes, red tomatoes, tomatillos, and one's for the quail. I need to get my containers out if I'm going to do 4. Goodness. All right, I will see you guys after I pick. So here's the results. Here's our reddish ones. I already fed some of the quail, those are some bad ones. Feed the other quail. And we got a whole basket of green ones. Some of them are a little split. We're gonna have to take care of that. Actually, these need to go to the quail. Here is tomatillos. Forgot to show that earlier. Those are all volunteers. So that was the harvest, and I hope you enjoyed seeing that. I'm going to be doing something with these. I'm not exactly sure what yet. I might, frankly, blend them, heat them up so they're cooked, and throw them in the freeze dryer, and I will make, salsa or whatever from that. I am feeling that I need to just get things preserved. And if that's what it takes, that's what I'm going to do. So I think that might be what I'm going to do. I might roast them first and then put them in. That might be a better idea, as it would be better flavor. So hopefully I'll do that. Wash them, roast them and put them in the blender and then into the freeze dryer, because then I can have a powder that I can use for whatever I need. Does that sound good? What other ideas do you guys have? It's mostly green tomatoes. What other ideas you guys have? Put in the comments. Let me know. So here's our cucumber, and we cut it open. You cut around it like I did, you preserve most of the seeds. If you want to cut it in half, go ahead, but you might cut some of the seeds. That's that. It smells good. It smells really good. So I use a sieve. You can use one that's not as fine as this, as long as the seeds don't fall through. The seeds, you could eat this. I don't know if this is still good. It smells good. You can see each of the seeds has a little gel capsule, so we're going to rinse those off. Alright, so I'm going to rinse this in the sink and just kind of rinse around with my fingers and get all that juicy gunk off. So I actually prefer the coffee filters, but I can't find mine right now, so I have a plate with a paper towel over it. And I did end up switching sieves because the other one is way too small of holes. You can see there's some of this stuff still. You can pick that out now or later, but I'll sprinkle it on. And you pretty much just wait like a week or so whenever it's dry. And then you can put these into a container. You can see that right there, it still needs to come off. You can put these into an envelope and it'll do really well once it's dry. If it's not all the way dry and you put it in an envelope or plastic or something like that, then it will mold, and then that won't be good. Now, are all of these seeds going to be viable? No. You can see this one is nice and plump. Right, that one's nice and plump. It looks good. And this one is super skinny. It's kind of has a divot there. That one's not going to be viable. This one likely is. So you can either sort them out now or just sort them out later. I always choose later, unless there's some that look really, really bad. But yeah, just spread them out and they will do that. And that is the seeds from one silver slicer cucumber. Make lots of more babies. Always remember to label. Silver slicer 2023 garden. I can rewrite that later. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Please hit the like if you did, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. All sorts of stuff on this channel, and hit the bell notification, select all, so that you get all the content. We will see you next time. Have a wonderful day. The rest of this video is quail going after the tomatoes. Please enjoy. So because these guys don't have light on them, I'm going to give them first pick. These are tomatoes. Got some tomatoes and some tomatillos. Enjoy. Yeah, what is that? Enjoy it. All right, little ones, come feast. Come feast. All right, guys, come and get your tomatoes.